All right, welcome back. When we first started in part one, this was our goal, right? And students determined the modulus and the conjugate of a complex number. We were successful with that. Game plan for part two is how do we divide complex numbers? So let's take a look and see what I mean. If I say let z equal 2 plus 3i and w is equal to 3 minus 4i, if I say let's add them, right? If I say z plus w, we know what to do. We just take this plus this, we're done. Z minus w for subtraction, this is my z, this is my w, and I just subtract them. If I say z times w, this is my z, this is my w, and then what do? You do your FOIL thingy, right? And then you get what you want. But here, when we divide, it's a little different. How do you divide 2 plus 3i divided by 3 minus 4i? And I'm going to show you, and it's going to be short and sweet. So let's take a look. If we want to divide complex numbers, the goal is we want to make the denominator a real number. Because here, we look at our denominator, it's 3 minus 4i. We want to somehow make the denominator real. And how do we do that? I want you to pause the video and think what would be the move to go forward, okay? And if you're coming back to see how it's done, we multiply the numerator and denominator by the complex conjugate of the denominator. Okay, so let's just take a look at this. Here, this 3 minus 4i is annoying. So what we want to do is we want to multiply the top and the bottom by 3 plus 4i and 3 plus 4i. You are taking the complex conjugate of 3 minus 4i and multiplying it by this. Now remember, are we changing the value of this? No, because remember, what's 3 plus 4i divided by 3 plus 4i? It's 1. So we're just multiplying 1 times this to change the way it looks. So how would you do this? How would you continue forward? Well, this is just the same as multiplication of the complex number. We're going to FOIL them. So let's take a look. What does this become? This becomes 2 plus 3i times 3 plus 4i, and that goes on top, right? And then what goes on the bottom? It's going to be 3 minus 4i times 3 plus 4i. And here, what happens when we multiply with the conjugate with each other? If I have some a plus bi times a minus bi, what was this equal to? It was equal to a squared plus b squared. We showed this. If you feel very shaky on this, I'll show it two ways. Okay? Let's just do the top. Here, what is 2 times 3? 6. 2 times 4i? 8i. 3i times 3? 9i. 3i times 4i is 12i squared. Right? That's just FOIL. And then what goes on the bottom? It will just be, watch. What's my A? My A is 3. What's my B? It's 4. The bottom will equal 3 squared plus 4 squared, which is 25. Okay? It will be this. But watch, I'm going to do the FOIL for you just so you can see it. Okay, but watch, it will be 25 when we're done. 3 times 3, 9. 3 times 4i, 12i. Negative 4i times 3, negative 12i. And this is negative 16i squared, right? Negative 4 times 4, 16. Negative 16, sorry. I times I squared. So let's look at the top. The top, how does the top simplify? It's 6 plus 8i plus 9i is 17i. And here, 12i squared becomes negative 12 because I squared is equal to negative 1. So this is minus 12. And then what goes on the bottom? This is 9. 12i minus 12i cancels, and you're left with negative 16i squared. But what does negative 16i squared equal to? That's negative 16 times negative 1, which is 16. And notice, this just becomes 9 plus 16 on the bottom. And here we get 6 minus 12 is negative 6 plus 17i. And 9 plus 16 is 25. And notice that's what we get. Anytime you take a number, anytime you take a sum a plus bi and you multiply by its conjugate, it is always a squared plus b squared. Always, okay? And then this is it. But we're not done yet. Remember, this is equal to what? We want it as a complex number, so we have to split it. It's negative 6 over 25 plus 17 over 25 I. And then bam, we did it. We took this complex number from the beginning and we divided it. 2 plus 3i divided by 3 minus 4i is this right here. And this is how we do it. So any question where you have to divide complex numbers, let's review. What you want to do is take the complex conjugate of the denominator. Okie dokie. This is the key thing we want to do. Let's take a look at this question here. Let's just set it up. For this example here, it says divide 2 minus 6i divided by 2 plus 5i. What's my first move? I'm going to multiply the top and the bottom. Remember, we multiply the numerator and the denominator by the complex conjugate of the denominator. So I'm going to multiply the numerator and denominator by the complex conjugate of this denominator. And then you just do, and this is it. And that's equal to what? 2 minus 6i times 2 minus 5i goes on top. And then what goes on the bottom? It's 2 plus 5i times 2 minus 5i. And now here, you do your FOIL thingy, and then remember, don't forget to break it. And that's it. Okay. You can do these by yourself. Enjoy. Have fun.